Good morning. All right. Hooky dokie. So, not that we have a lot of people here because, it is Sunday, but that's all right. So, good morning. Welcome to Mid Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium. Thank you so much for being here on this Sunday morning, the 9th. And yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, I didn't want to break the streak. I mean, I really like the idea of making three in a row. So, here we are. Uh, Very cool. I am taking the roads less traveled. It makes it easier when walking down the stairs, you know. But yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it might be. Hey, Amber, good morning. Yeah, I know we may not get a lot of people today, but that's all right. But hopefully people will watch it back. So yes, if you were one of those that aren't seeing this live and you're catching this back another time, I appreciate that just as much as I love seeing everybody that can make it live, even when I have to move it around and adjust for things. But that's okay. It happens. It truly, truly happens. So um, move this around real quickly because I don't need that anymore. Cool. Hey, Jill. Good morning. So yeah, no, it's like I said, good morning. Thanks for showing up on a Sunday because that's always a little bit different. But at the same time, like I said, I really didn't want to break it. I felt like it was going to be okay. I took caution yesterday because I wasn't feeling was great because that's the weird thing about I had stomach issues, but it wasn't like who hasn't had a stomach issue? Things are spinning, and Jason's driving. He's here. That's cool. What's up, Jason? Be safe. Keep your eyes on the road. That's important. um, no, yeah, it was weird. It's a couple times this year that the stomach's done something different. Hey, Lisa, good morning. It is not the typical spinning around, and then you feel like you, you gotta be near a certain facility because you never know what might be trying to exit, so to speak. And but it hasn't, and that's the thing that has gotten me. Like I said, it's like a couple times this year that it's there, but it's not like nerves or anything, and I just can't pinpoint it. So it's you know, and then I'm fine. It's like I take a full day or something like that, and then it's like gone. So it's like I don't know, and it's just odd. It's a very odd sensation because I can't relate it to anything in particular, and I think that's the tough part about it. It's like it's not pain, so there's not like I gotta like get checked out or something like that, and you know, I I don't know. It could be this, that, and the other. Who knows? But it happens. But it is what it is. So just well, I do. I mean, if I stopped doing cartwheels, Dad, it would make sense, and then then it wouldn't be hurting so much. But yeah, I mean, it was. Hey, Margaret, good morning. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was just all day. I mean, I woke up at I don't know. It was either before 3 or right after 3 with my stomach starting to feel funky, and I was just like, was an odd time, and it wasn't like it was really work related, which, I would, then chalk that up as some type of stress or, anxiety or something, but it wasn't really, I wasn't expecting anything bad to happen and nothing really bad happened. I mean, little things, but nothing overwhelming. So I don't know. It was just weird. So I, even when I woke up yesterday, I mean, I was decent. I mean, I debated, I mean, but at the same time, when I put that post out, I said, hey, I'm just going to be careful. I'm just going to watch it. I'm not going to risk it because I mean, I've done that too much over the years anyway. So I thought, well, I'll hold back, and just push it a day because I have the option of doing that. Hey, Donna, good morning. And so that's what I did. I just took the caution side of it and not overdid it. And here it is. We're gonna we'll do a Sunday morning edition. Whether people make it or not, or hopefully some will watch it back. That'll be cool. But um, for those just joining, yeah, I didn't want to break the streak, so that's why I tried to still have the show. But that's all good. Yeah, to help your stomach, drink 5 shots of hot sauce. The hotter, but well, I mean, that'll do one thing. That'll definitely get you. That'll get you over the upset stomach. That's for sure, man. But no, yeah. So yeah, I mean, so that was the odd thing. That's the only reason why we didn't like yesterday. It was just that I just wanted to be careful because last thing to do is to be miserable and then be trying to sit here. And again, kind of like what I talked about last week. Are you do I want to look miserable or feel miserable, but just put on an acting face and then just put it, keep going and um, you know slowly, you guys will, that energy will seep into you. You guys might get lethargic then or something, so yeah, I mean, I just don't want to. um let's see. The show does not appear on your page. I opened it on YouTube and can't see anyone's comments. You might have um I can't. How am I gonna do this? Actually, no, I can do this. I will see real quickly. Oh, I gotta refresh. I mean, there is people watching from the no, it's Margaret, I'm seeing it. So I am seeing it live right now. So it is working. So I don't know. Maybe it's just a little goofy, maybe something with the cell phone or whatever you're doing. So um hey Yasmin, we're not really don't do that in the mornings. And even then I've been I don't know if you've been a new follower or something, but I don't typically Saturdays I don't, well, Saturdays and Sundays, if I do a weekend show, it's usually not about readings and things like that. um and even then I'm kind of closed up for the moment. I've been dealing with things over the last like year and a half, and so I'm not really doing readings and things just yet. Trying to take care of some stuff, trying to feel better, because I haven't been doing so great, so I'm still taking it easy, trying to get my feet underneath me. And I hate to say this, but I I'm hoping that at some point soon, whether it's it could be in a month, it could be in a couple months, I don't know for sure. But yeah, I mean, eventually, yeah, I'm going to get back at it. I am feeling I'm getting there. But every time I seem to think I'm ready and I go to try to do something like do a reading for somebody or do a healing, I just it I don't feel like I'm giving my best, and then I end up doing I then go down for a while, and then I'm really miserable for weeks and months. So yeah, so I just that's why I'm not really doing a whole lot. So I mean, if you hang out and just keep following, when I'm definitely 100% ready to go, I will be posting about it. And I typically, if I do a reading show, it's usually during the week. When I used to used to do them, I usually do it during the week. It'll be in the evenings, Eastern Standard Time, usually seven or eight ish, or something like that. But hey, Tom, good morning. Yeah, that's cool. I know you've been busy, buddy. So like, you it's understandable. But yeah, no, so yeah, eventually I'm going to get back at it. So it'll be kind of cool. And then yeah, we'll see. Okay, cool, Margaret. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, well, that's what's cool. That's why I try to go back, we use Facebook and YouTube. So that way there's at least a chance that somebody can catch it in some place. So I know I think if you're at YouTube, you can't see the Facebook comments. I know that's a weird one. And then yeah, it's strange. I don't know how that happens, but it does. So I will, Dad. I will definitely feel my fingers. But yeah, no, that's cool. But thank you, for yeah, if you hang out and stuff like that. I usually try to do this for Yasmin, for you, I mean, a lot of a lot of the people here watching, I mean, they know what I do. The Sunday mornings, usually Saturdays, I do this is I try to just kind of we're sitting around the breakfast table type of thing. We're hanging out. We're kind of just throwing things out there. I do have a title and topics that I throw in there, but always open to questions about things. But it's meant to just we're all hanging around the breakfast table. We're throwing questions out there or situations, experiences, and so it's just a way to hang out. And we're not really pushed or pressured into anything, and we're just kind of chilling. I mean, you know we we all tend to be stuck on our phones. We all tend to be busy in life, including myself. I mean, but sometimes it's just nice to where we can just hang out and we're not really obligated or forced. And so whether you're here for a couple minutes or you're whether here for the whole show, it's just one of those things. I'm very fortunate to have so many of you, especially those that do catch the show. I mean, I posted about it earlier in the week that I'm so blown away by the when I see new comments because people are watching the show back at another time, and I'll go and for me on my side of the business page, you can see total views, and I'm last couple of weeks I just keep getting blown away by this is the third weekend in a row, and so it's great to see, it because I was, you're nervous that when you come back after being gone for a couple months and then you try to start this over again, you have to try to bring it again. And it's like, it's all I'm doing is starting over. And so I see the numbers and it's like, wow, you know, it means a lot to see it because it's not about the numbers for me, but it just shows that, people are they're loyal, I mean, or at least it looks like everybody's loyal because a lot of you that do catch it, you're here during the lives, or you make an emoji on it that you've at least checked it out. So that's always cool to see. And but I always appreciate it. It's neat because again, it's just one of those things. There's so many great shows out there. Some have come and gone, and then we've got new shows, and so you know. This was just one of those that I came up with one time that I thought it would be great to sit around. And there was one at the time, just as I was coming up with it, there was another medium type of person that had a morning show, which was great because it was just as I was coming up with it that he launched it, which was great, and I would check it out, and that was neat because it kind of validated for myself into being like, yeah, I think we do need some more morning shows. Sure, we're not all awake, but that's the whole point. We can kind of sit around. We could be still, eating our breakfasts and drinking our coffees and teas. And so, it works out. And if you can't, it's great to still check it out at some other point. And, but yeah, no, it's cool. Amber, thank you so much. Yeah, it is. If you're not feeling too good, mentally and physically, it makes doing this and all the other things I do service wise difficult, and I don't want to, have anything, I always want to try to be as 100% as possible because that's what makes the most sense. Hey, Betsy, good morning. But yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. So, but yeah, hopefully, you guys are doing great. Hopefully the week's been decent. Yeah, not too bad. I mean, I know I know, it was we had a milestone 3 days ago. I know sometimes it could be a little sketchy for some people, but we had the 80th anniversary of D-Day, and it's lots of celebrations around that, and so that was always neat. I've always been a military type of buff since I was a little kid, so that stuff always interests me. Plus, some of the things that most of you probably don't know, other than my dad, that I have, or currently I can't because obviously I'm a little too hairy to pull off the reenacting stuff, with the long hair and the long beard. But I did for a little while do reenacting for World War II. I did it for the 101st Airborne Easy Company 506, and so that was one that was depicted in the Band of Brothers series, plus the book that Stephen Ambrose came out with. And so I built my whole rig, and so I've was able to march in some parades and things and kind of show what a paratrooper looked like back then. So that was always fun. But yeah, now now I won't pull it off too well. I've been working. I've actually, in this one I could be honest about. Just it's not really not even being deceitful, but I am working on my next reenactment stuff. Which a lot of you that do know me and have hung out with me or see me in certain things and stuff like that. I have been working on Viking stuff. So obviously things money for a long time. So I've been able to slowly acquire pieces and clothing very slowly, and so finally I have enough to basically like if I go to, some type of even a medieval, Renaissance type of fair, which they just do, have Viking stuff at them at too. But now I feel like at least I could go, I could put on, I have everything to at least look like a decent Viking. So I'm pretty excited about that. So um, I've got it. Like I said, I've got enough to where I can pull it off, and not just be like, just a tunic or something, and that's it. So I've got it. Shoes, pants, the leg wraps, the tunics. I do have axes, fake and real. So I've acquired those. There's still little odds and end things I still want to get just to kind of tighten things up a little bit more. But at least I feel like I could go to stuff this year, which I want to. I know there's one in a couple weeks. There's a whole weekend festival, a Viking festival. That's all it is, in Ohio. So I'm debating because that's a loaded weekend as it is, and so I'm like, can I make it? Because I think it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours away. So I'm trying to figure it out at this point, but we'll see. My dad, hey, Ann, thank you. Amber said you would nail it for Civil War. I mean, I don't know if I can find it in time. I think I could. If you guys really want to see it, I could show you what I looked like. Let's see. Oh yeah. So keep in mind, what year was this? Let me make sure. Oh, I screenshot it, so I can't even tell the year, but I could find it, but I know it's been a while. But I'll show you a photo of me, which I'm gonna oh man, the green screen's probably gonna screw it up. Well, that's okay. I have bushes and trees behind me, so it'll kind of they're gonna probably look goofy, but you'll still at least see the uniform and stuff of what I look like. But so this will definitely blow all of you that haven't that's very rare have never see me without a beard. So they said it might not come up too well, but over center. There we go. Yours truly without a beard. But there's my rig. Obviously, you can't see everything that's on, but I've got the whole setup, man. So that was cool. Yep. Actually, and then even then to show you me in action. See if I get that right. So I was even though I was just a reenactor, so I mean I do not have military service under me, but they well, Dad, I had to bury it when after I landed. So after that's why there's no parachute because you once you land you have to ditch it and stuff like that. But so but no, that was so that, yeah, that was really cool. So I mean, I got to do that. I was guarding the flags is basically what my role was there with them. So I just kind of hung out, but that was really cool. So I didn't. You did have a picture of yourself on your page while you're with. Yeah, yeah. There is. Yeah, once in a while I'll get things where you don't see everything because like this. You remember the beard stuff was 2018. That's when this all started. I mean, I always grew something during the winter, but then the full beard, really started in 2018. So, but yeah, no, that's really cool. Amber, next weekend in Monroe, Michigan, there's the very first Ren Fest. That's right. I knew that was another one. I forgot about that one. Yeah, that's real close to all of us. So, yeah. Well, next weekend too, Amber, is Father's Day weekend. That's on Sunday. So that's a tough one too. Well, not Dad. That actual Dad, I did a couple years in a row of the Memorial Day parade for that, and I think that was the second year. So the first year, yes, he was there for that one. This one, he wasn't. So like I said, I did it for a couple years in a row. That was a hot one. I'll never forget that one too. That was like, whoo, man, that was a warm one. But yeah, no, that's cool. But yeah, so but that's just kind of fun. Some of the fun stuff that I've been working on, and just kind of granted, it's in my DNA. That for the Viking stuff, it's in my DNA. So that's why I wanted to put that all together and stuff. And so, even then I still got to buckle down to, get more of the history side of things and memorize a lot of things. But, you got to start somewhere. So, first is always at least to me, it's like you got to look the part at least a little bit. So before you start rattling things off. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, thanks for reminding me, Amber. I remember seeing that because it was like exciting that it was so close, to all of us. Um, but yeah, I'll have to see. Like I said, I know Sunday obviously is Father's Day, so it's going to be a little hectic. But other than that, I can't remember. Just double checking. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see if we can all make it work. But anyway, yeah. So like I said, that was the whole point of June 6th. We had the 80th anniversary of D-Day, so that's why I was bringing all that up and show you a couple pictures of when I used to do the reenacting. Not that there's always a chance I'll do that again, but at least at this point, I'm pushing into the Viking one for a while, so I want to do that real bad since it's in the blood. So, but. Other than that, I'm trying to think of what else was going on this week. Um, let's see. Yeah, I don't remember too much else that I can think of. I did notice, and this was really cool. I'm glad that there's still some people around. I know the numbers kind of go up and down, so everybody's kind of going in and out because the people going to church and things like that. I totally respect that. And oh, that's cool, Margaret. You got some pictures of your dad from World War II in Korea. One of Jerry when 3 helicopters unit. Yeah. So to do that, you'll have to bite the bullet and get it. Well, of course I would, Dad. Of course I would. The beard's probably the toughest of them all right now. Because I want it for the Viking stuff, but the 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 long hair that could possibly, that might be a lot easier than the beard. Oh, let's see. Melody. Hey, Melody. We were having a Lest We Forget reenactment of one of our beaches in June 22nd, June 24th, I think. Oh, that's really neat. That's really neat. Beaches in June 22nd, 2024. Okay. Excuse me. Well, that's really cool. I like that. That'd be awesome. I don't know if you attended. I mean, I'd love to see some pictures of it. If there's any, like if they did it last year or something like that. That would be really cool. Yeah, no, I love that stuff. I mean, it's always cool. I mean, history, regardless of what has happened, it's cliche in saying that we learn from history and we try to do things better from what we've learned through those situations. So sometimes it's nice to kind of depict those things and you know keep it alive so that we never forget it. Let's see. Margaret saying there was a man who came into the job with a beard, but I never seen it. Yeah, I mean, I've twirled mine a little bit, but it doesn't get into a bun. It just kind of like wraps around and looks like a lazy man's, way of not braiding it, but it kind of looks like it should be braided. But yeah, I've never put it in a bun. I mean, you wrap it around, but I don't purposely leave it. I think that'd be weird. So that's not me. Other than a real quick joke, but yeah, other than that, no. But yeah, no. One of the things I braids, yes, not a bun. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I have braided mine. I have banded mine off, and it's always been tied off, and it's been kind of like one of these. I've done that. I haven't done that in a while. I did it a lot in 2022. I was outdoors for a lot of events. I was doing lots of gallery readings, and some of them were outdoors, and so the wind would sometimes be real crazy. So I would just lock it down so it wasn't just like flying everywhere. Not that it was as long in 2022, but it was it was around, but it just I was kind of keep it tamed, But it was also nice because it was kept it together. But once in a while I feel like it, but I haven't done much with it. Just keep it clean, straighten it out like I do before the show. It's not all crazy. I mean, that's one thing at least I'll do. I'm not doing makeup, but I will at least straighten out the beard a little bit so it's not just like which is cool. Yeah, the ZZ Top thing. I do. I mean, if it can get down a little bit lower, I mean, it'll definitely pull that off for sure. Get out one of my guitars. I'll totally look like ZZ Top. Not that I can play as good as them, but I can at least I can fake it, pretty good. I mean, rhythm playing was my thing, so I was never a lead guitarist, but I was always a rhythm player. So, yeah, no, but anyway, yeah. While there's still some people here watching, I was just kind of curious, and then maybe people that watch this back, later on. Yeah, it was weird today. I don't know. Been meaning to talk to you about makeup. Yeah, I'm sure you do. Um, but I woke up, or woke up kind of yeah, I don't know what was going on today. Things just didn't seem as together. I don't know. It wasn't personally. It seemed like there was something bigger going on, and I really didn't dive into it because again, I'm not trying to do much. Which I wish sometimes I wish I would ask more. And I probably wouldn't really be hurting myself, but too much, But I noticed there was just this weird vibe in the air, and again, it wasn't personally, it wasn't just locally. There's just some weird vibe going on in the air, and I don't know, if others have experienced that today or recently. Sometimes it leads into something like when it's going to hit something big. Um, yeah, let's see, Margaret, like something is off, but you can't put yeah, I mean, it's really it. Like I said, it doesn't feel me because I would I'd definitely be affected a lot more if it was something personal. There'd be maybe some anxiety associated with it, but it just seemed bigger. And even then, the initial thought was like, what's going on with, and I'll say world because that's just what's going on with the world type of thing. Not that there's things always going on, but there was something with today. And so whether it's something's happened, we just haven't heard about it, or whether something's gonna happen, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's good or bad. I wasn't like feeling dread and terror of it. It just had this uniqueness to it. And so I'll have to reach out to some of my other friends that watch the stars a little bit more and see if they know of anything astrologically. I think I saw somebody yesterday posting, but I didn't confirm it. They showed an image, but I didn't confirm if we were getting hit or not. But there was some solar flares. Oh, there we go, Tom. Astrologically, the past few days, there's been some planet shifts. Okay, okay, yeah, because in the like I said, I saw somebody post yesterday about solar flares, and they were showing some like infrared shots of the sun, and you can clearly see the waves, the flares of it. And so I wasn't sure if that's what this was finally. I don't know. Again, just throwing it out there. Like I said, a lot of times it's not enough time to dig into all of it. So I got I got some good people that I love to reach out to, once in a while and be like, what's going on? Margaret, I have heard about there's supposed to be a lineup of 5 or 6 I have heard that. Yeah, I don't remember when that was or is or if it did happen, but I know there was something that, yeah, I mean, if you're in the right spot, you might be able to catch them or at least see some of them, which would be great. I mean, I mean, I've seen a few. I've definitely seen like 3 or 4, you know, um, at one time, especially like in, the sky, which is, awesome as it is. But yeah, I can't remember when that is or when it will be happening. So, but hopefully we didn't miss it. Oh, she's saying, okay, so you're thinking it's this month. Yeah, I'm just gonna say, hopefully we didn't miss it. And even then we got to worry about weather. You know, never fails, right? I mean, just like the eclipse, we were a little cloudy. It was, it was definitely hazy, but at least it was enough to where you could still see it. And, even the images I did capture, I'm still grateful that, it could happen. Obviously, I wish it would have been perfectly clear skies, but, you just make the best out of it and then hope for another opportunity if you did miss it. So, or you live, vicariously through others that are witnessing it and get to post it, hence why I do all my sky pictures all the time. I get this share that because I know sometimes not everybody's up as early as me. So, which, and that's another interesting point, as we get ready to shift into the, the topic today. Uh, I, I don't know what it is. I don't know why this, I mean, obviously, we're basically hitting the official summer month type of thing. And so I was, oh, look at that. I just noticed, look at that. Put that in the chat because I was just like, I was like, where am I at? All right, there you go. That's pretty cool. It's 1001 or 1001. So cool number. Some people think the alignment will cause Armageddon. Well, I mean, they even Dad, they've been saying that stuff for a long time, just like, when the Mayan calendars ended, that it was going to be bad stuff, and really all it was just shifting into the next calendar, so to speak. So yeah. I just looked it up. It says on August 20th. Okay, well, wow. So we got some time before that one happens. So well, that's good. Well, at least we can prep for it, and we can remind each other, in August we got to get ready for the big alignment. So cool. Um, but yeah, no, what over I'm trying to remember, because even last year, I don't remember driving into work, and this isn't. I'm not trying to go down some weird like weird. I'm trying not to use certain words, because I know certain words they tend to get flagged. So there's a term I'd love to use, because it would be kind of fun, but I'm watching other people's things, and then hearing about, boy, if you say this and so I'm trying to be careful not to say certain words, but you gotta go to the liquor store early, right, Dad? um, but I just noticed that, my drives in, especially the last couple weeks, I've been pretty fortunate with, beautiful sunrises, and I mean, we've all seen them at some point in our lives, even if, you were younger or something like that. But, you know, typically you just see the sun pop up, but it's just been, and maybe I'm just overthinking it. Uh, that maybe I'm just fortunate enough to where and universe is looking out for me, that I've been able to catch these, driving, which, is, I love it. I'm glad I get to see it, and even then when I get to kind of take a couple quick pics, I get to admire it later on. But it's just been fascinating that I've been able to capture so many. I mean, obviously not every single day, uh, but it's been a lot more than I can remember. I cannot remember a year ago, uh, you know, driving and just having these opportunities to see, beautiful sunrise. Not that any sunrise, every sunrise is a great, every new day is a new day, and that's the how we always should look at it. But what fascinates me is just the colors, and some of them are so vivid, and sometimes the clouds, just enhance that a little bit more. And the one that I posted the other day, there was even a rainbow, but it wasn't even raining. So I'm like, obviously something happened to where it, showed a little, because I looked up my driver's window, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a rainbow there. And it was very similar to earlier, I think, in the week when I captured the other one, which it was, raining on and off. So it made sense. But that extra rainbow, oh, thanks, Margaret. But that little extra rainbow, I mean, granted, it was, when I caught it, it was pretty faded, and um yeah, I tried to brighten it up a little bit just to see if it would, but it just kind of blurred. But at the same time, I'm driving, so there is going to be that kind of situation, which I get, uh, but I really was just blown away. But I'm just fortunate that I was, I'm able to, and that's why I've always said, I just, if I can capture something and share it, it gives everybody a chance to see it too, even if you can't wake up that early. Maybe you work at night and stuff like that. So hard to say. But that's why I do it. So, but I just found it interesting that there's been so many more mornings recently over the last few weeks, month, that I've been able to capture things. Sometimes I forget to post them, because there's only like, I get a couple of them, so then that's why sometimes I'll just do a photo dump of where I've gotten a couple mornings, or maybe sunset, an evening one or something. And then I'll just combine them together, which is great too. Then you got just a few more to run, to look at. Uh, but it's neat. It's neat to really be able to do that. So yeah. So I will continue to do that in a safe manner, always. And we'll go from there. But yeah, I don't know. But again, I don't, back to what I was saying, I don't understand what the weird vibes are and stuff. But there's something, obviously. So we'll just have to be careful, regardless. Uh, but yeah, I wanted to. So we crossed over into the last half hour. I mentioned, about changes and things, and I think, you know, because we're so busy, that's why I'm segueing in. We tend to be so busy with our lives, me included, you know, that, miss a lot of the messages. And granted, this ties into a lot of other topics I've mentioned, but changes are, a lot bigger than just seeing a quick message or something. Um, having a something wildlife, animal, insect, uh, something to that effect, to where it pops up and they got meanings behind them, and depending on what they're doing or where they're at, or if they're flying over you, a lot of those things mean a lot, and they still hold true to this day. And I've always talked about is just being able to slow yourselves down at times, because we all got responsibilities, don't get me wrong. But even then, I'm still very aware of this stuff. And so even like this morning, that odd feeling of like something's up, but I don't know what it is, and that's it, it's just that vibe, yet feeling. And so, you know, are you paying attention to changes that might be presented to you? Because we we live in a society, or nowadays, that we're just always handed these things, or it's always just like, it's scheduled out or whatever. And so uh we miss them, and sometimes the messages are right there, and a lot of the nature stuff, and I've talked about some of them, have really made have really hit me, because they matched up the things that were going on with me at that point, whether it was previously or that day. um and that's the thing, is it's one thing is just to notice that, like, that stands out, and even though you could blow it off, and you certainly could be like, you know the day that that one that I had the rainbow, not this week, but when I did the other one that had the rainbow and the sky and stuff, and then that just made this was actually, no, that was a couple weeks ago, because that's what made me feel like, you know um coming being feeling ready enough to come back to do the live shows again. So it was presented, and I could just look at it as just, oh, it was just a beautiful sunrise, oh, there's a rainbow, it's because here's the science behind why rainbows happen and stuff. But you know, I I was there, granted I was driving, but I you're enough to where you're there the moment to notice it. And even then, it's realizing it's not just something to witness, which is great, but it's not going to be presented to you just by like, here's some information. Uh these messages happen all the time. And so things like that, where there's changes. So that one in particular was really good, because it really did. It really helped me kind of fuel me to get back into the show, and I felt comfortable to do it again, and ready. And so that was just witnessing it, because they did. They all the way the sun was rising, the way the rainbow was, and it was just this kind of unique whole message in one. And it really made sense, because that was the thoughts I was having at the day. Here it is, the light shining on you, these lights, so you can look at that really clearly, is hey, you've been thinking about the show again. you know um and even then, the rainbow, has so many cool things. I mean, it has all the colors have significant meanings behind it. You could look at it from the seven chakras, just an alignment, everything being in the right place at the right time. So there's that. And so things like that. And even then, and again, a lot of this is reciprocal when it comes to stuff, but even then, just certain songs, you know, I've had older songs just pop up on my head out of nowhere, and it's like I wasn't even thinking that, or even close to like the lyrics or something. Or come across a lot of new songs and things that excuse me, have been out for a while. And then when I listen, and when I'm like, well, that's interesting, and I'll listen to it, and then I'll then read the lyrics, and then I'll sit there and think back. I'm like, wow, that really is interesting, because this is kind of talking about like a little bit of something going on with me right now. And a lot of times those, whether it's just to alert you, which is just a classic message, or does it have some meaning as to change, and that's the thing you have to then uncover, or uh you have to take all the puzzle pieces and put them together and see if it is something that you need to do. So music's a great one, but people coming into your lives, they can bring a lot of change for you. you know they could highlight a lot of things. They could give you a lot of suggestions, even though it might not seem like it. So people just all of a sudden showing up in your life, that is huge. And you could think about, interaction like that with another person, or even a pet too. It could be that. But you can think about all the opportunities for change when meeting somebody and becoming friends with somebody, and how that might affect you in your life. And at the same time, it may be the same in reverse, as where they came into you, they had no idea why they were drawn to you, but yet you're then helping them. So that's a change for them. So, but it's, let's see, Margaret says, I saw something really cool not long ago. That picture of the rainbow caught that I sent you right after that. I took that. There was a flash of lightning at the end of it, and I was driving and I couldn't get, wow. Yeah, well, lightning's always a tough one. I mean, I, I mean, that is a goal of mine, to try to see if I ever could capture a true lightning strike, I mean, and then not just, I mean, you can do it in film, but I mean, to capture it in a photo, that would be my, like, oh, I would love that. But um yeah, and so that's why, like, every day I I'm always looking, even if I'm home, you know, you kind of you just kind of open to things. Granted, when you're home, you do drop your guard a lot because it's home, it's safe. And so sometimes you're not always on the edge of your seat. Not that I'm on the edge of my seat whenever I leave the house, but slowing down enough to where I will, if I recognize something that stands out, then I can capture it, whether it's just remembering it, taking a picture of it, but then I get to then um, unscramble it as to what it really means for me. And does that mean some sort of change, which is can be important, because, you know, you could stick to the same thing. There's nothing wrong in that. But there's also times in your life that you have to change, that you should change, because more things are going to happen in a positive way for you. And so if you just to keep ignoring these simple signs, which, again, we live how we live, and it's difficult to try to slow down because you're so used to fast pace that all these things just run right by you. But that's why, you know, taking the time to just chill for a few minutes, like yesterday, I certainly could have just pushed it and shown up and did it, but I just took it. Hey, there's no rush. You're not getting paid for this. It'd be one thing if I was getting paid, then I'd suck it up. But since I'm not getting paid, I have the opportunity to have free will, and I can decide if I want to move it or just cancel it and take the time for myself. Which is always um, good for me. I mean, obviously, I still working on getting better, that I'm not going to literally have a full group of family and friends that are going to hate my guts for not showing up. So um, I'm getting better at that. That's not the case. I mean, you still might have a bad apple in there once in a while, and but it that is going to be so much smaller than all the others that are truly there to support you. Because yeah, I mean, to not have that support, it makes it rough. It does make it rough. Yeah. Are you saying I'm not getting paid for my comments? I haven't seen any money, show up. Weird thing is like, I think it was when I did was it last year? I'm trying to remember real quickly, but when it was last I think it was last year, there some of these shows, when I pulled them up and I look at them from the business page side, some of them will like say, "Hey, well, you can monetize this," and I'm like, "Yeah, well, how?" I mean, and I don't know if it's putting if they're putting ads in it then at some point. I don't know. So I'm just looking over at my other screen because I'm trying to remember what page I saw that on. Um, yeah, it was just really weird. Is that on the content one? Yeah, I think it is. Um, yeah. Was this? Yeah. So right now, this one's saying monetized and enabled. You're earning on this. Where's the money? Where's the money? I don't know where it's coming from, but I think, I think, yeah, it looks like every live show has a potential, but I don't know. I think I know what it means or how that works. I don't think it's like a YouTube type of thing. You can earn money on TikTok. That's true, Jamie. You're right. Um, I mean, I go to, I check TikTok out, but I don't. It's like one of those um, like Instagram. I like it, but it's so weird. I'm lucky to open it up like once a month, once a week, once a month, once a week, if that. It's so weird. I like it, but yet I just don't go to it, and it's so odd. But yeah, and it, and Jamie, if I'm not mistaken, I believe you have to have like, oh, there's a certain number of followers that you have to have before they'll light it. So Joey does, but the videos are shorter. Right. Well, yeah, and that's yeah. And to do quick things, I mean, yeah, because I think even then, like you have to achieve so much. I remember looking at it a few years ago because I was like, oh, that'd be kind of great. But obviously I would want to be doing some lives. Um, and I have, and I mean, I did for a little while that your listeners can buy stars. Oh, well, thank you, Amber. Holy, that would be it. You know what's weird is I remember somebody did that before and I never saw where the money was. And I think because I may not have everything set up on my side of things to accept it. So that may be why I've never seen a dime. So I think that's what I have to go back into the settings and things and see if there's like, I'm sure there's probably some type of like bank account thing or send it to PayPal or send it to Venmo or something like that. I'm sure there's got to be something in there because I know like PayPal and Venmo and stuff like that. I know they'll say like if get, I guess I'll say that, or received, X amount of money, then, they want taxes on it. So the government's well aware of it. So yeah, there's that. And I'm trying to remember, there was one year, a couple of years ago, I made just enough to where they sent, W-2 or whatever it was. And it was like weird because like I didn't owe anything and I didn't really get anything back. So it was stupid because I just barely earned enough to where it was taxed and like over $500 or whatever it was. And so it's like, so that was a weird one because we had to get some extra help on that one. But yeah, so that's interesting. Yeah, I'll have to look into it more and find out where this money is. And I would hate to have some and then I wouldn't be able to access it. That'd be kind of weird too. So but thank you. Thanks, Amber. I will look into it for sure. Jamie saying, yes, you have to have a certain number of followers and then you can do live shows. That's cool. Yeah. Cause I know, obviously friends with some other paranormal, investigators, paranormal teams. And I've seen them doing the same thing where they've had to build up. They've done a lot of short things, just do quick clips. And then once they've gotten enough, then they were able to, um, and then they're able to go live because they do lives all the time. I mean, I don't get to watch them because they're pretty long. Hey, good morning, Sharon. Amber always have their hands out, right? um, yeah, that's really neat. That's cool. I mean, yeah, I mean, so I would, I'd love to, now that's 999,990,999 need to be made before you get paid. Well, that is true. That is true. I mean, my one and only, the Native American flute album, it's the same way. So when I get, um, the few CDs that are still out there that, because there's not many left. I mean, I still have a ton personally, but like a couple of the stores that did have them, which was like Amazon had a few, but they got it from CD Baby, which is where mostly it was going from. So I never had to handle the shipping because with work, I mean, it's hard to be up so early and then come home. So I'm never around when I could get to the the post office. So, and I can't, it's hard to take time from work when you were always on the mercy of a last minute phone call. So it's like, I can't just go and then stand in a line and then get called. And so, CD Baby at the time was great because I was able to let them do all the shipping and stuff. So, uh, And then now it's like if I just have the CDs with me and we're in person, then you guys can have it. But then again, everybody's moved to download. So like Spotify, I get a penny per play. So that's always great. So you can imagine how many times one of my songs got to get played before because how I get paid for those, or like Spotify or somebody actually downloading it from some all the big major download places, you can set a limit as to, what's the dollar amount that you want to get to before we'll send you a check. And I'm like, well, I I did it okay, but wasn't like I didn't go, I'm under $100, but it was just like I didn't want to put like, well, every $10, but so, but yeah, they just it just gets transferred to my bank account and stuff. So which is, it's cool when that happens because then I'll get a confirmation email saying, hey, we sent you. And I'm like, oh, you forget about it because yeah, Spotify. Yeah, let's see. Wow, Penny, I have to play it in my classroom so you can remember, right? Yeah, just let it run. You just loop it. Yeah. I don't I don't I mean, I'd like to say a penny a play is hey, I mean, but you know what though? It it does happen. I mean, I did last year I did get one check, so that was cool. I mean, but obviously it's not I've kept it under $100. I can, feel like it's something, but it's cool. Well, and my thing too is I really need to push. I need to try to find time to do more. I've debated for years, and obviously, I've dealt with a lot, but I've debated for years on, do I just create single songs instead of entire albums? And do I, release it that way? Uh, I've also debated on the concept of uh doing a song, but then uh making it long. So instead of like a 3 to 5 minute ish song, I'm thinking about making it like 15 to 20 minutes. So it's one song. Now, granted, I would not be playing that long because native flutes have issues when you play them too long. They have they get too much moisture and then it destroys the sound. So uh, there would be elements to a longer song of where there'd be like a break would be kind of like like solos, but it would be other instrument, of course. So that way you can break it up and then you would just kind of keep it going. And I've debated on like things like that of doing it like in a meditative state, which it kind of is anyway. But to be able to sit there, because I was talking to some people years ago, even before the pandemic, that uh that there's people out there that just write music and they only put it on YouTube and they're able to get enough of a following. Obviously you get, you got to like and subscribe. That stuff is huge, especially the subscriptions. And then even YouTube, you have to have a couple thousand subscribers, and then you get qualified for monetization. But like that's what I thought about the relaxing music. If I just did long songs, you know you might, because people obviously sometimes don't have the opportunity to do things, sit very long. 5 minutes sometimes is tough for people. I mean, how many times we talk about meditation and it's like you need to sit for 5 minutes. I don't have time. You have to make the time. But yeah, excuse me, I thought about that because I know, I've seen and I somebody that does, um I've seen some others that do things, and not that I know them. I mean, there is others too, but I've seen some that's all they do. It's just instrumental, background-ish meditation music, and you see how many people have subscribed to them, and then you see, the viewer counts, and you're like, well, they're definitely making hundreds of, and sometimes couple thousand a couple thousand a month, which I mean, that's some nice chunk of change. And even then, granted, you know, writing a song, recording the song, there's all this other work that goes into it, which people don't realize, as a musician, there's a lot of a lot of stuff that's going on behind the scenes before you can, see some stuff. But at the same time, if you enjoy it, that's what matters. So it could be, Amber. I don't. Yeah, I mean, all the platforms for monetization are a little bit different in their numbers and things, but my brother is a YouTuber, and he had to wait until I don't know. See, I thought YouTube was like 1,500 subscribers at the very bottom end. I think that's it. But see, things change, and so I haven't looked in a long time. So YouTube has shorts now too. They go extra job. Plus, it's not about money. You need to do what you like. Oh, Jamie, 100 billion% correct. Once it becomes a job or once it becomes something that is not enjoyable, it's not worth it, and that's scary. you know, that it has become a job, so to speak. And I mean, to be really brutally honest, as we're coming down to the end of the show, to be brutally honest, I've enjoyed this stuff a lot where I love talking, you know. Uh Strange to go, and then my dad can easily chime in here, which he probably will. To go from a very shy kid and literally shyer than shy, uh to really didn't want to talk to a whole lot of people, did not have a whole lot of friends, which wasn't good as a little kid, kid. Not I didn't have the worst of the worst that some people did, because I could play sports, so I got left alone in that aspect. But at least I'd be all right, but it sucked when you just didn't have a lot of you know lot of friends growing up. Anyway, we're not going down that road because things are a lot better. But I would love to do this more than anything. I wouldn't mind, yeah, you like talking? No, that's right, Dan. Um, but I would do this. If there was a way, it doesn't have to be live video, but I mean, whether it was some type of radio. I know there's a lot of, there's always pros and cons to everything, but I do enjoy being able to talk about things and stuff. And so, I'd love to do live stuff more, uh, and then, you just got to worry about researching your topics and things of that sort. But I would love to do it more, more speaking. I guess that's kind of it, but at least more, of the radio-ish thing. But, it's okay, and I've got a lot of ambitions, ever since I've really enjoyed talking and sharing information. And, I've kicked around, and for years I've kicked around doing like voiceover work. I've kicked around doing um uh like Audible books, and things. I've gone down that road. I've just kind of thought about like what else could I do that could bring in some extra, coin. Because I mean, God, who couldn't use a few extra pennies, literally. But I mean, I've gone down a lot of roads. I just haven't been able to initiate them, so that's on me. But I've had a couple of people have sent me some stuff. I remember seeing this one place that has several different things, doing you can do book things, and you can do I can't remember if there was commercials in it or not, but things like that. Voice, which is voiceover stuff, not necessarily for like a TV show or anything, but where you do a commercial kind of thing. So I've got, like I said, I've got it, and I still have all the information. It's, I've just been trying to not put it off, but it's at the same time just trying to take care of myself before I would really dive into that. Because obviously, if I'm going to dive, I'm going to jump. Um, People, let's see, Amber, your people were just elsewhere when you were in school. True, yeah. Had you considered a show where you could educate people on paranormal? You're good at explaining it, Margaret. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's still ambitions for other live shows. I mean, I still want to, I talked about it, recently. I wanted to, kick back up a show that was not mine. It was somebody else's, which I still have full blessings over, but there's still an evening show that would happen during the week and I think it was last week or something, that it would be completely, um, excuse me, it would be, uh, I would have somebody come on. So it would always be a guest. It would be one of those type of shows. There would be a guest, and it doesn't have to necessarily be, popular or famous people, so to speak. But it would be where it's just people to come on. And, not that we don't see those. There's just one little added element to the show that's why I wanted to do it, because there's just a little extra to it. So I wanted to resurrect another show that somebody used to do that was popular. and still is. And so, like I said, I've got their permission to do it, and they would be the first guest on that show. I would come up with a name for it, and again, it would be an evening show, and so there's things like that. I would love to just be able to sit back for an hour, a little over an hour, and we just ask questions, and we kind of just throw things around, somewhat similar to this one in a way, but yet at the same time you have that extra person, that guest, but granted, yeah, it would be about them too, of course. Like I said, there's just some extra things about the show that, uh besides the talking, that has to happen too. How much are they going to pay me to do your show? I mean, I'm sure the community of Black Swamp followers would probably come together to um, raise a fund GoFundMe or something like that, to bring you on. But yeah. uh so yeah, no, but like I said, there's all these things, but that's the thing is, it's great to dream, it's great to think of these things. Again, this comes in with the whole point of changing, and do I see these? I can see these things happening. I would totally love to do them. At the same time, am I ready for them? Can I get them going? And they're obviously new shows. When you create them, they're always going to be a little rocky and stuff, but what I'm saying is like, is it the right time for me? Because obviously, I'd be the host of it. So having people hanging out, or, chiming into the shows and calling in, uh, you know, that's a big deal. And then I got to commit to it, type of thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna love every second of it. The hard part will be just landing, some people, because, you're going to want some people, but then there's so many people that are willing to share their stories and their experiences of a lot of different things. Obviously, it'll always still be based around a lot of things that we're all interested in, paranormal, metaphysical, spiritual, those sort of things. Doesn't mean that we wouldn't, touch other little things. Granted, there's still some topics I'll never ever touch live, but at the same time, there always be that basis for it, because it's just the point of hanging out and talking and sharing stuff and listen to other people's experiences, that sort of thing. So, but yeah, no, that's so there's a lot that I've always kicked around and um, toyed with and stuff. So I yeah, I just got to take one at a time. And really, I just, you can't just start them all. I got to, if I'm going to do one, I got to focus on one. And then that's where I got to, attack it. So there's that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd love to start a lot of different things, but you still got to do all the other responsibilities, right? There's still things that I have to do. I still got to go to work, and, family and all that. I mean, there's just, yeah, there's all those fun things that you still have to be well aware of before you can just add all this other stuff in. And, but see, then again, we could really go on the wishful thinking, I'll just win the lottery. Then I can quit my job. I can stay home and I can start all this stuff, because then, at least I know it wouldn't necessarily be, I couldn't get money right away, but I have to have some money to get going. It's going to keep, me and the family, housed and fed. And so, there is that. So, I mean, I could, win the lottery, and then it'll be great. So, that would be great, because then I could, but it would ease up a lot of the tension of, having to get up for work, because then I could like get some rest. I can wake up, I can work on shows, work on music, or whatever. That would be great. So, not that there's excuses, you can still fit all that stuff in, but it's just, uh not having to do the day thing. That's, good for me. That's, technically like 10 hours that I would get back for my day. So I would love, 10, well, actually, no, wait, what would that be? So even if I was considered high. Yeah, that's 7.5 to 8 hours. Well, yeah, 7.5 to 8 hours. Well, no, I mean, well, I'm trying to count in the sleep. So no, yeah, it would be, yeah, it'd be like about 10 hours. Yeah, so that's right. Um, 10 hours I get back from my day, and you can think of how much you can do in 10 hours. So, a lot of research, a lot of planning, a lot of setting up. So, but anyway, it's 10:35, so we are out of time, and it is Sunday. So I'm gonna get out of here, but just to recap, just make sure that uh, you know, you guys do. Would you be sleeping more without work? Well, I mean, at least I wouldn't be waking up at 3, 4 in the morning. If I got to 6, that would be fantastic. I'd be thrilled, Granted, I'd probably be staying up till 10, 11 o'clock, most nights then because I'd be working on things, but uh, that's okay, waking up and not having to get in a car for a while, that'd be awesome. Uh, but yeah, no, but make sure that as we wrap up here, make sure that you guys are paying attention to stuff, looking for the opportunities for changes that are out there, because again, it's not always going to be in a verbal way to you. Now you might get a song like I've said before, but always know what's going on in your mind at the time that something strange happens. And then strange isn't a negative thing, it's positive, but when you see something and it triggers something to make you think about it, or compliment something that you've just been thinking about, that makes you all warm and fuzzy, especially if it's a super positive thing, you know, you've got to embrace it and realize that that's how the universe works. That's how these messages get to you for changing. You know what I mean? And so you've got to capture those, because again, we don't all like changes because we're so used to routines, and routines, that's the comfort level. Fortunately, breaking of those is difficult, and I know that. I mean, trying to break bad habits, so to speak, or changing something that you're so used to doing, it is difficult. But when you finally do it, you realize how much more better things get for you. Even if it's a little rocky at first, that's okay, but that's a part of the change. And then once it finally gets into another routine, then you realize you're way better than you were before. So um, just be mindful as you guys move through this week and things. See if anything pops up. You know what I mean? Oh, you're good, Sharon. You have a great weekend too. But yeah, no, just it's okay. And it doesn't matter how young you are, doesn't matter how old you are, we're not supposed to be sitting still, so to speak. There's always something that we can change. And I'm always I always keep my eyes open, my ears open, and I'm just observing as best I can. And if I miss it, I always ask for it to be presented to me again when it's ready to be shown again, so that way I can pick up on it and then decide on what I want to do with it, and that's the cool thing about it. So but yeah, uh thank you guys, thank you for showing up on a Sunday, and for anybody watching this back, thank you for watching it. I really appreciate it. And so we should be pretty good. Yeah, we're good for next weekend, because I know next weekend's Father's Day weekend on Sunday. So we should be good. No issues. I'm trying to remember if I'm not going to stop and delay anymore, but I think maybe the weekend after might be bad, but I'll double check it. But other than that, we'll be good. So we're good for next weekend. So I will come up with another one, and then we'll have some fun. So I'm out. It's Sunday. Enjoy yourselves. I think the weather's decent, so if you can get outside, do that. I think we're going to be doing some yard work and things, so I'm definitely getting out there for sure. Other than that, I will see you guys soon. Check out for post. I'll get those going. I'll definitely see what other neat nature-esque photos I can capture and share with you also. Great. With that said, I am Adam the Black Swamp Medium. You've been watching Mid-Morning Medium Chat. I will see you again very soon. Thank you for watching. And as always, all my love, light, and peace to each and every single one of you. Take care.